The Eye Care Program. 35 years of alcohol, drug abuse, and violence prevention. Serving the East Baton Rouge Parish community since 1981.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for Eye Care Live. My name is James Upright, and I'm the Healthy Minds Coordinator here at Eye Care. I'm also a graduate student in the LSU School Psychology program. Today I'm joined by Ms. Holly Sheets. Thank you very much for coming out here today. You are the Community Outreach Coordinator for the U.S. Attorney's Office, correct? And also with the Louisiana Law Enforcement for Gun Safety program. So I want to go ahead and just make clear that sometimes we may be referring to this program as LEGS, given the long Louisiana Law Enforcement for Gun Safety name for it. So for any listeners out there, if you hear us referring to LEGS, we're talking about the program. So just to go ahead and get the ground running, what is LEGS? Can you describe what its mission and purpose is for our audience and our viewers out there?
Sure. So LEGS is a public health and safety initiative that's led by law enforcement agents across the state, as well as my office. And our mission is to teach youth the dangers of playing with guns, make them aware of the consequences, safety tips to help keep them safe. Louisiana ranks second in the nation in accidental gun deaths amongst children. So on average, we lose probably 24 children a year, simply because somebody was playing with a gun.
Okay, and so it sounds like your targeted age group. What is this targeted age group for? And that's really an eye-awakening kind of statistic, that second highest in the nation. So who are you trying to work with? What age groups, what populations?
So our program is we tailor it, but it is meant for kindergartners up to high schoolers. We also talk to parent organizations, so PTOs. Sometimes during their meetings we'll get asked to go and present to the parents just to make them aware of some things that they may want to talk to their children about.
And then could you explain to us what kind of these presentations or the program looks like when you're working with the students?
So it's a classroom setting.
Okay.
typically 45 minutes, but we fit it within the hour or the class time that we have.
Okay.
It starts out as an interactive lecture.
Okay.
And we ask awareness questions just to get the children engaged. It's led by myself. We have law enforcement agents, like I said, usually the Baton Rouge City Constable's Office, Baton Rouge Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, and we have props that we take with us, which sounds pretty unconventional, but it works. The children never come into contact with these firearms. Are all disabled. And our purpose for that is to show that you cannot tell the difference between a real and a toy gun because of the looks, the weight, the material it's made of, the colors. And every one of these accidents that happen, it's one of two things. Kids either thought that the guns were unloaded or it was a toy. And so through that demonstration, we show them how difficult it is, and sometimes it's impossible. How it's impossible to check and see if a gun is, or to see if a gun is unloaded. You have to maneuver, you have to physically handle that, and that's where a lot of our accidents happen. Then at the end, we answer any questions that the children have. Then we have a bulletproof trailer that the firearm instructor shoots a watermelon inside. It's completely safe. It's bulletproof and it's remote fire. We've taught over 40,000 children, and it's been wildly successful. Again, the watermelon shoot is just as unconventional as our props, but through that demonstration, we can show that what the kids are seeing and learning through television, movies, video games, that's not reality.
Yeah, and I think, you talked about these unconventional things that you're doing, but to make it out of the ordinary probably helps it stick with the children more, makes it a more memorable experience for it. And I guess that's probably your ultimate goal with that. What kind of age groups are you finding yourselves normally being called in to work with, and do you guys feel like there's an ideal age range that you think that this is the most, like how early do you guys want to get in and start getting this information to children?
I personally love starting with kindergarten. I in the past have gotten concerns that it's too young, but these children, we don't give them credit for knowing the things that they know. We as parents or adults may have firearms in our homes and cars, and we may think that they're hidden, whether it's under a mattress or in a closet or whatever. These children know, or they get curious. And so the younger that we can start educating them, I think the better our chances, because we do have accidents that involve children as young as 3. It's not just for the high schoolers. And I think it's important to understand that, I know in public there's a lot of talk about gun debate and all this sort of thing. I think it's important for people to understand that we are not taking a stance on the gun debate. That's not what our program is. But what everyone needs to acknowledge is that guns are a part of our society, whether you're for them or against them, whether you own them or you don't. The possibility that a child is going to come in contact with a gun at some point, it could be in a playground, it could be a friend's house or a relative's house, is very, very high here in Louisiana. And so these children need to understand how dangerous it is and what to do when they find one.
And so this sounds like it's a great presentation that you guys are coming out. You've got law enforcement agents. You have all these resources that you're using. Is there any cost to the school for you to come out and do this sort of presentation for them?
No, there's no cost associated. This is, another aspect of our jobs for community outreach. That's
excellent. And then I guess on the flip side of that too, I know some administrators are often concerned about their instructional time and protecting that. How do you guys work with teachers in that way, or administrators in schools, to make sure that you're able to provide what is this kind of vital information? Like you said, this is a nonpartisan issue of whether not to have or have guns, but it's more about the safety of guns for children trafficking. So how do you protect the instructional time for schools when you're coming in?
So we market this program as a public health and safety initiative, And we run this program through the PE hour.
Okay.
So they still get their credit for their health and safety education, but it does not mess up their core curriculum.
Yeah, I'm sure all the administrators out there are glad to hear that. And so knowing all this, if someone wanted to come and reach out and try to set up a time for you to come out, how would they reach you?
So they could just give me a call at the office. My number is 225-389-0443.
Okay.
And again, it's Holly Sheet, so they can just give me a call at the office. I do all the scheduling, and we can get a time for them. If I can add one more thing.
Yeah, no, please go ahead.
I didn't think earlier.
Yeah.
When we are talking to adults,
Yeah.
such as like PTO meetings, things like that, we have gun safety. We have gun locks.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're talking to a parent who has an unsecured gun at home,
Okay.
we will provide them that gun lock free of charge.
That's excellent.
Show them how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just to cover all aspects of safety in their home.
Yeah, because when you talk about this, I was thinking that's interesting because definitely there's a lot to do that you can do to educate children. But I'm sure that the children will bring some of this information back to the parents as well. But being at those PTO meetings, it seems also like an opportunity to help parents out, as you just mentioned, with being able to provide them with gun locks.
Right. Or if there's any schools that have after school programs, we do those as well.
Okay. And then as far as scheduling goes, one thing I want to ask is there what areas can contact you? Is this just limited to the EBR parish, or is it a greater range than that?
This is actually a statewide program.
Okay.
It started here in Baton Rouge as a pilot program, but it has gone statewide.
Okay.
So I work in East Baton Rouge Parish and the 8 surrounding parishes.
Okay.
But if it's somebody in a location outside of my jurisdiction, we have coordinators in that area too that I can direct them to.
That's awesome. So this isn't just something for the capital area, but something that the whole state can
Statewide,
access.
yes.
Yeah, that's excellent that you guys are able to provide that service. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us today. Really
Yes,
appreciate
thank you for having me.
on.
I appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us for iCare Live.